What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in. We are back with another edition of the Passion and Precision podcast. We're coming to you live during All Star Weekend, so we'll touch on that a little bit. Also, going to talk about the NFL as there's some big news involving a team in New York and a certain star quarterback. And because it is Valentine's Day weekend, we are going to keep with the Valentine's Day theme as presenting some Valentine's Day cards to some NFL teams. And we're also going to talk about things we loved about this past NFL season. So keep keeping it all around Valentine's Day, and then obviously final burn at the end. You guys already know, like that's what we do. So before we even get into all that, let me go ahead and introduce the co-host. Got Jory and third member Bella. How are you guys doing tonight?
All right, my internet's really gonna act up because it's already doing it. Uh, but we're doing all right. Can't
Okay.
complain.
Okay.
Just Chris Paul, man.
Yeah, Chris Paul. I mean, look, we can actually just start there. Like, if you guys didn't see it, they're in a skills competition. Chris Paul trying to act like he found a loophole, got with Wemby clearly with this bold new strategy of just running up to the rack, lifting the ball off the rack, and then just throwing it out there. That way they can move on as quickly as possible and get the lowest time. Oddly enough, I guess CP didn't read the rule book all that thoroughly because they were disqualified. I thought it was hilarious because like every time Reggie Miller and what was that? What was his name? Kevin Harlan. Yes, how could I forget Kevin Harlan? Had a moment they were like trying to send their sideline Ali LaForce over there to talk to Chris Paul. They kept showing this guy who kept like talking to Chris Paul, showing him some paper and all this kind of stuff to let him know he's been disqualified. And CP3 looking kind of confused. And they told Wemby at the end, like, yeah, you're disqualified. And Wemby was just distraught. Look, it, I mean, you're CP3. You've been around long enough. This is not a new competition. It's been the same competition for a while. They might have changed, they might have tweaked the format, but it's been the same. It's been a timed event. Why you would think the NBA would want to see somebody big brain it and run through the course like that is beyond me. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I get it, Chris Paul trying to find a you know, little parts here and there where he could cheat the system, but it was, and I'm glad the crowd booed him too. Shout out to the crowd because it should have been booed. I don't know what that was. Like, what are we doing here? And it's like they did all that. I feel like their time wasn't even that much lower than Cleveland's time that they won with. So what was the purpose of it? But like what did you think about it, Jory?
I thought it was. I'm like, here we go, Chris. You done already taught the man how to flop.
Yeah,
Now you're teaching him how to get away with stuff or try to think that he's slick. He's teaching them bad habits. I'm like,
exactly.
I was like, great. Initially, when this move was made, I'm like, great. You have a veteran, but then I realized it's Chris Paul.
Yes.
So now we got a 7'5" player flopping all over the place, and the fact that they look distraught because they got caught cheating. Like what?
Hilarious. Hey,
That made
it's
the whole All Star weekend worth it. Worth it, in my opinion.
hey, it brought drama to the All Star Weekend. I guess you can't be mad at it.
Mm-mm. Come on.
But I mean, even with that, they are doing the 3 point contest right now, and it's going. There's obviously one aspect of it that's not going to happen. The Steph Curry, Sabrina Ionescu challenge been scrapped, and what's going on, Damien? See, you thought he was in Squid Games, like for real, like what are we doing here? And so what we learned was they were trying to get Caitlin Clark in on it to do a 2v2, like it's going to be like the Splash Brothers basically versus UNESCO and Clark, and it didn't happen because Caitlin Clark didn't want to do it, so she pulled out, and you could tell like that was the reason for it because the league was like, we were looking to build upon what we had already had, and they didn't see an opportunity there, which means they wanted Caitlin Clark as a big star to add to the 2v2. She pulled out. I guess they probably couldn't think of anybody who was on that level that they wanted to find to replace her, so they just said, forget it. We're not advancing it in any way. It'd just be a rematch of last year. What's the point? Do you have a problem with Caitlin Clark saying no? Okay.
Because I'm like, y'all want to grow the game,
Mm-hmm.
but then you do when it comes to things like this, where it's time to grow the game. It's like now you want to opt out, and I get her reasoning,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm like, tell them the amount of time they should have had enough time to try to change course, but that's neither here nor there. But that's what I wanted to see this year. Not gonna see that.
Now, do you think that this is something that they should try again next year, or because they've now skipped a year, do you think they should just do away with it?
I think they should put it in next year. But Caitlin Clark also said she's not going to do it until she gets into the WNBA 3 point contest. So
Right.
that's also dependent on that.
Yeah. So I guess next year should be on the table. Like she should be all in next year. And that also means when the WNBA one comes up, there better not be some excuse for her not doing that one. Like she
Mm-hmm.
better be front and center in that one. And oh well, Tyler Hero just won the NBA 3 point contest. Watch Caitlin Clark butt kissers defend her. Well, look, it's her choice. They can't force her to do a competition if she doesn't want to do it. Like it's fine. Like the 3 point contest is still, I guess, the best of the Saturday night festivities anyway. Tyler Hero did win it. I mean, you know how I feel about Heat, but um, I guess it's weird they're still ending with the dunk contest, which I don't know. At least Mac McClung's in it. Like, at least we know he can kind of bring something to it. But I don't even know what they do to that to fix it anyway. They got new judges. I'm kind of glad they did that. Thank you. But
I got tired of seeing them too.
mm-hmm.
Because we know Shaq is a hater.
Well, the main problem is all these judges go into it like, show me something new, or I'm gonna just bash your dunk. It's like the human body can only do so much. So just because like Jordan and Dr. J jumped from the free throw line, that means nobody else can ever do it. Like if somebody can do a dunk from back in the day, you pay homage to it, but they do it with like a little different flair. Why should we penalize them because, quote unquote, I've seen that dunk before? So unless you want them to start pulling out trampolines and going NBA Jam on it,
The
then just
thing is, Aaron Gordon was doing stuff that ain't nobody seen before, and he got screwed.
Yeah. So it's like, and I feel like that one maybe more than anything is why a lot of guys probably don't do it anymore. But I also think the fact that they just bash every dunk no matter what, I feel like keeps a lot of people away from doing the contest as well. Like, I get it. You don't want to see guys go up there and just do the most basic dunks. I get it. But if some guy does something that has a little flair, I don't need you to then look into your mind and go, oh, I saw Vince Carter do that 5 years ago, so I'm going to give it a five. Like, just judge it for what it is. It's clearly a contest just for the fans. Like, it's not that serious. Like, that's the way I feel about it. So I hope the guys tonight create some excitement. I know they're allowing fans to vote tonight. Let's hope that doesn't, blow up in their face. But yeah, we'll see. Are you interested in watching the dunk contest at all? Oh, hold on. I think George. Yeah. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. Um, do you have any interest in the dunk contest?
That's on Castle. We went to the same high school. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
He came from Covington, I believe. Yeah, because he went. Yeah, we both went to the same high school. Maybe different years. Because I think I'm a little
Okay.
older than him. He might have been in the class of 2020, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only rooting interest that I have.
It's something. Blake Griffin
Because
killed the
after they
dunk contest.
screwed Aaron Gordon out of it,
Yeah, that was bigger than Blake Griffin, jumping over cars and stuff.
I stopped being interested in it. Because I'm like, Aaron Gordon, that was one of the best dunk contests I had seen in my life up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And he got royally screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd wanted that night to go. I was hoping like every dunk they just put up 50, just keep it going like that. It was on that level that night. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is what it is. Um. Okay, so then tomorrow we have the new All Star format. The team Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and Team Parker, who's taking the Rising Stars winning team. I feel like I've asked this before, but just get your thoughts one last time. Are you in favor of the new format or not?
I'm in favor of it.
Okay.
I
Despite what
mean, we
Kevin
get, they have a certain, it's not going to be a blowout 200 something point.
Durant. Mm-hmm.
First one to 40 or first one to 20. Yes, first one to
Yeah.
40. They have a set, they have a set score, which encourages
Mm-hmm.
competition. And it's like a tournament style. And I also like the fact that the players had a little bit of input in this. So theoretically, they should be more interested in playing it.
Yes.
But you got old ass haters like Kevin Durant who just hate
Mm-hmm.
everything, just grumpy.
Yeah. I was looking to see. So they got Team Kenny versus Team Chuck first, and then Team Shaq versus Team Candace, and then the two winners will face off in the third game. Oddly enough, they only have a line on Team Shaq versus Team Candace. They don't have one for Kenny and Chuck. They have Shaq's team favored by 7 points, but I feel like that's going to be the biggest draw. I hope they're all mic'd up, and I just want to hear the back and forth trash talk.
Me too.
Yeah, and hopefully the players actually care. So there is that. NBA learning something from the NHL. True.
Allow more fights.
Well, yeah. Well, the NHL All Star Game has, although more fights. I don't know if you saw this, but Draymond Green had a quote like yesterday, late yesterday, about how the NBA is boring, and he thinks it's boring because lack of physicality. Joe Mazzulla's message is slowly getting across the league.
What do
No, you good. He said that the NBA is boring, and I was just paraphrasing. He said basically because with no physicality, the game has kind of morphed into what it is, a 3-point shooting contest and stuff like that.
of course
And
he.
obviously, Draymond Green is a guy that would benefit from a more physical league because that's his skill set.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess taking that part of the equation out of it, I mean, is he making a point though?
He is,
Yeah.
because much that people are gonna want to watch running around shooting meaningless threes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not built like that, and you're not built that well to get away with that, it's bad. It's hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's different if it was like the Celtics, who can run that style of ball and play in the paint as well.
Yep.
So I'm like, mm I like it.
Yeah.
I like the 3 points, but I don't like the bad built rosters of trying to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Too many teams want to play that style of basketball, and that's not how they're built.
Right.
If you're
Well, I mean,
built
we.
from inside out, you play inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Like sports
everybody's
are
going to
a
be cutting
copycat
to go
league.
outside in.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. That's where teams have to be able to look in the mirror and realize, yes, the Celtics play a certain way, but why can't we win playing differently? Like you said, everybody just thinks, oh, we're going to draft this guy because he can shoot a three. So we're going to just surround whatever with just this one guy and everybody standing around and watching and everything. I mean, look, that's the way it is. Like the league kind of does this errors and all that. I guess with Draymond's quote, I do know that for defenders, it's a problem where now you have to worry about landing airspace and everything on 3-point contested shots. So I do think that there are
Mm-hmm.
some defenders who probably maybe don't close out 100% because they don't want to get into an airspace. And with the evolution of the 3-point shot, these guys are just too good at shooting them. If they know you're not going to really challenge them because you don't want to get in their airspace, they're just going to rise up and just knock down threes. So I think Draymond's onto something. He should connect with Joe Mazzulla. They should come with a formal proposal.
Who also went on the record and said that halftime is useless, and that he thinks we should get rid of halftime.
I
Your
mean,
coach.
look, not every suggestion's a winner. Look, Missoula would rather have you just play 48 minutes straight. If you're dead tired by the end, that's on you, and just keep it moving. Just go soccer with it, running clock, and then just keep. Yeah, I kind of wish NBA All Stars was in a street ball
Mm-hmm.
concept. I mean, yeah. Although I do think there's been like some good points made because Unrivaled just did their 1v1 tournament. And I think the good point is like a lot of stars in the NBA probably couldn't handle losing to a lesser player in a 1v1. That's why we probably in the
They
NBA.
couldn't.
Because Brianna Stewart lost 12-0 to, was it Leah Edwards? I mean, you're a peep out of
Mm-hmm.
Brianna Stewart, like, oh no, I'm so embarrassed. It's like, who cares? Just keep moving. Like, imagine LeBron loses 12-0 to, I don't know, Trey Young. Like, we would never hear the end of it.
Exactly.
So, Damien, I'm with you. I'd love to see it. Maybe down the road when the league turns a little bit younger and some of the older stars start fading out. I don't know. We'll see. But
No, because they're sensitive, if not more.
yeah, That's true. I don't know. Maybe one day. Way off in the future. All right. I feel like we can transition to the NFL. So biggest news out of the NFL: the Jets and Aaron Rodgers are set for a split, as the Jets told Aaron Rodgers, "We're good. Much success to you. We gave it a shot with you, but we're moving on." Uh, Aaron Rodgers got to now sell himself to some team out there. I know that you've made it well known. You're hoping that your team is not one of them that are involved. But
Absolutely.
I mean, did the Jets not make the right decision here?
They make the right decision, and I'll tell you exactly the reason why. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on a second. Your Woody Allen is actually doing the right thing for once and giving Aaron Glenn the opportunity to establish a culture the proper way, not with a malcontent, manipulative SOB at
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. Now, as far as Mr. Rodgers is concerned, he has to. I think he's going to dig deep
Okay.
because he wasn't traded. He wasn't traded or anything. He's
Mm-hmm.
getting cut. 40 something years old. He's gonna have something to prove. But who's gonna give him the opportunity to prove it?
Yeah.
It's gotta be some quarterback desperate team like the Raiders, Saints, Giants, and maybe Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah, because I was about to. Yeah, I
Or
was
like
thinking of some teams that need a quarterback. I was gonna rattle off a few and see if you could see it or they should stay away. So Cleveland, you think should Cleveland pursue Aaron Rodgers?
because they're such a badly run organization and I hope they all fail anyway,
Okay.
yes.
How about the Raiders?
I think Tom Brady.
Okay. Uh, Giants.
He's the type that would stay in New York to stick it to the Jets. I
Okay.
see that.
I mean, look, he's already started down the Brett Favre road to redemption, I guess. Minnesota.
No.
Okay.
If they're not going to keep Sam Darnold, it's time to see what you have in JJ
Okay.
McCarthy.
Trying to see who else might need a quarterback like that. Like I said, I'm not gonna say Tennessee because I know how you feel. New Orleans.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I see him in New Orleans.
Uh, Okay. I mean that might be. Look, if he's sitting around hoping for a starting job, offensive minded coach, that might be the best spot for him. Problem is the pieces around him once he gets there might look a little different
Are
because
going to
they
be
still have
trash,
salary.
and that's why he deserves
They
it.
need to. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Kellen
That's
Moore would
why he
want
deserves.
that, but I mean, first time coach, sure. Hopefully this isn't a storyline that kind of lingers too much. He probably have to wait till after the draft because obviously the teams that need quarterbacks are going to try to get one there. If they miss out, then they'll look to Aaron Rodgers. But hopefully it's not too long after the draft before he signs. I definitely don't want this to be the whole offseason wondering where he's going to go.
Right.
Damien says Saints have cap hell. I don't see it happening. I mean, yeah, that's definitely going to work against them, but they seem so passionate on moving on from Derek Carr. You're not going to turn it over to Taysom Hill or Spencer Rattler or one of these guys. Like, you got to Go out and get somebody to play quarterback down there.
Exactly.
Uh, let's see. I mean, yeah, that's all of that because obviously the Jets now either have to pay it up in free agency or try to position themselves to get somebody in the draft now. So we'll obviously have to see how those two storylines work out.
I
But
wonder
good.
how would Lions like Hendon Hooker.
Like that's a really good question because if he waits for
You
Goff
see
to
why?
kind of move on, by then he may be
Damian, why the hell would Aaron Rodgers go to the Patriots and his ass not gonna start?
like we got Drake May now. The Colts, okay. Jim Irsay would probably love to bring Aaron Rodgers in. They're already showing they're not exactly completely sold on Anthony Richardson. Maybe, sure,
Put him on his butt. Like,
maybe Miami.
easy sacks.
I mean, I guess if Miami's ready to move on from Tua, maybe. I don't know.
They move on from two. Right?
I mean, they move on from Tua,
For
though. Mike
Aaron
McDaniel
Rodgers.
might as well just leave with him,
Exactly. Because you know Mike McDaniels forgets how to
yep,
coach. If he ain't got no tool.
which is fascinating. But neither here nor there. Um, so yeah, obviously, whenever Aaron Rodgers does, sign and everything like that, we'll obviously come on here and discuss it. We'll discuss the fit, everything like that. But let's move on to the other part. Like I said, keep with the Valentine's Day theme. Things we loved about the NFL season. So I guess I'll let you give one, then I'll give one. Go back and forth. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So I guess you can start with your first one.
The manner in which the Ravens lost in the playoffs. You knew this was coming.
Yeah, I do it. Hey,
That night. I'm letting y'all know I had a great night that night they lost. A great night.
good TV is good TV. So I was there with you. Like it's unfortunate that I have this much. I wouldn't say joy necessarily, but I guess maybe it is seeing a team losing the way that they did. And look, it's nothing to do with the Ravens players in any way. It's the fan base. That's it. Yeah. I know for me, one thing I definitely loved about it was the fact that Drake May showed he could be a starter. I'm keeping it as a homer pick for my first one. Showed his legs, he showed the arm. He was a Pro Bowler, even though it's nothing that I'm like celebrating because he shouldn't have been a Pro Bowler, but he's there. Supposedly he was like recruiting and stuff, so he's doing the work. And now just hope the team brings in better people around him.
Oh.
Amy,
Why would you want Aaron Rodgers contaminating Drake May? That is a contaminant. What is he going to teach Drake May? How to be a diva? How to manipulate a front office? How to get people to hate you?
yeah, because I love what you were saying, turn the Pats into a dynasty. So why didn't he do that in Green Bay? Have just the one Super Bowl. Didn't do it in New York. I'm gonna believe he's gonna do it in New England. No, I'm good. Like he can go somewhere else.
I think you forgot that part, Damien. They're not going to get along. Those two
No,
are not going to get along.
right. Like yeah, the last thing he wants is to walk in there and Vrabel just yeah no never happened. I guess what's your next thing you loved about the season?
I you kind of stole mine with the emergence of Mr. Slippery Man himself. Because I'm like, when he played versus my team, I was like, what quit scratching at my door. Um, when he played my team, I was like, "What is this?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this?" And what? And I think he got his first start against my team. Did he?
No,
Or was this second?
first start was the Texans game. So I think Titans might have been start number two.
Yep. And I was like, "What is this?" Aaron Rodgers does not deserve anybody to be nice to him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that game was probably way more exciting than anybody thought, looking at the schedule and everything. But yeah, he definitely showed some things that I feel like surprised me. Like I knew he had some mobility, but I didn't know he was as mobile as he showed in a lot of games this year. Yeah,
He's slippery.
so that's where the excitement is coming into
I
next
will
year.
say, I will say another one is the fact that the celebrations were on one this year.
Yeah.
I loved it. Jameson got a triple six. He got a fine for that
Mm-hmm.
last one that he did. I really, I'm like, why would you do
Yeah.
that? I said that's gonna have a whole bunch of zeros
Mm-hmm.
at the end of that.
I agree.
But
Yeah,
I
I
did love
agree.
it.
Like it's a fun part. I never understand when fans like hate seeing players show some personality or have fun. Like it's an issue I have with baseball. They don't like when guys, pimp home runs and show up. Like, why not? You're a big kid playing a game. Like, it's not that deep. Like, if you don't want it to happen, keep guys out of the end zone. Yeah,
Stop
don't
it.
let them hit home runs off of you. Don't let them dunk on you. Stuff like that. Like, let players show some type of emotion. It creates a better connection with most fans, I'll say. So yeah, I agree. I definitely love that. I think one other thing that I loved about it was I love seeing like I'm trying to see how to put this. The teams like Arizona or Carolina, some of these teams that past few years have been kind of forgotten about. I like seeing them showing a little bit of promise going to next year. Obviously, different levels. Like the Cardinals have had Kyler Murray for a few years. I feel like he's always kind of shown some flashes. You just want to see it on a more consistent basis. I felt like we saw some maturation in Kyler Murray this year. Can you build off of that next year? We'll see. Uh, I know you appreciate how Carolina ended their season because you're, Bryce Young fan like that. I appreciate seeing it as well because we see veterans handle what he's gone through in Carolina much worse than he has. He's there. He's supposed to be a starter day one. He gets benched. Not his fault. The talent around him wasn't good. The coaching wasn't there. He bides his time, gets inserted back in, and takes full advantage of it. I will respect that. And I'm hoping, like, obviously, Carolina might not win the division next year, but I hope they are even more competitive next year and just make it a little bit tougher on whoever wins the division. So I love seeing that from those two teams. There's some other teams that played uh, maybe a little above their head and were more competitive than they had been in previous years. I just love seeing that when it comes to uh, NFL, which they hang their hat on that with parity and all that. So I'll be keeping my eye on those two teams coming next year. Do you have any more that you loved?
Um, Let me think. Another favorite part. I love the Will Levis memes. It wasn't painful. It was painful to sit through, but the
Mm,
memes were hilarious.
yeah,
That's how you know I had a bad season. I'm taking away memes.
yeah. I don't see anything
And I
real
don't
quick.
want him suiting up for the Titans again.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I feel like the Titans are just playing playing it close to the vest. By saying that there's a chance we could turn back to Will Levis without just kind of saying, yeah, we're moving on from Will, so that everybody knows, okay, so they're going to take a quarterback at the top and all this stuff. We know these teams with the number one pick love the drama behind it because I feel like once you know you have the number one pick, you should kind of know who you want at that point. Like there shouldn't be any drama around the pick. But I do think in this case, Tennessee does have decisions to make. Do you just take the quarterback, move on from Will Levis? Do go with the pass rusher of Dual Carter? Do you move back and get more picks and then get, I don't know, like a Travis Hunter or whoever? They have options up there. So I couldn't tell you which one's the right decision to make. It's good to have
Jeffrey
options. Hmm?
Simmons wants Carter. But of course, Jeffrey Simmons is going to want Abdul Carter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure him, Tavondre Sweat would love to have him. Which I mean,
Mm.
it is a way to go. Maybe some quarterback. Maybe the best case scenario for Tennessee would be, yes, maybe you don't get Sanders or Ward, but hopefully like there's this other quarterback that maybe has like a really good combine, a good pro day and all this kind of stuff. Maybe you get them in the second round and you get them thinking that, you know, if this was next year, this guy would have been a first round pick. And maybe you just create competition. See if that brings the best out of Will. See if that maybe brings something out of the second round pick. That's an option. I'm just saying. And you use those other picks to fill in needs everywhere else. And then you can say, look, we're giving Will the best supporting cast he's ever had. Sink or swim time. Because I do think people say the quarterback class next year is much better. Damien just be trolling out
You're
here.
clueless. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that. You're just clueless because, yeah,
Yeah.
you're clueless. You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to that situation. So I'm not going to even entertain it. Um, I'm just over Will.
Like I said, there's a good chance Callahan and them might be too, but they don't want to make it obvious. Because who knows?
Another thing that I did see
Mm-hmm.
that I liked. It was a couple of things. Hold on. It was on the tip of my tongue. I forgot. But you go. You go for your next one.
All right. Uh, I love seeing Jim Harbaugh back in the league. I mean, I know he just won his title with the Wolverines, and then there's some issues that might have been surrounding that. So some people think maybe he left this time to avoid the NCAA sanctions or whatever crap like that. But just seeing the contrast between he and Brandon Staley with the Chargers, night and day. Like Harbaugh had that team ready to go week in and week out. They made strides this year. They made the playoffs. Like it seems like there's something to look forward to. We'll have to see if he can bring out the best in Justin Herbert, because I still think, what exactly is the best version of Justin Herbert? We never saw it under Staley. And I'm starting to think that Harbaugh might be the best to do it, but Damien out here just playing GM. Um, I think one issue with that, Damien, is it seems like the Steelers are going to keep Fields while drafting another guy, which makes
Just
sense on their end.
draft somebody else to give him
Yeah.
competition. They're finna move on from Russ,
Mm-hmm. I mean, all
and
that
I
Aaron
don't want
Rodgers talk,
Russ.
we got to find out where Russ is going to go too.
I don't want him either.
Well, look, Maybe a reunion with Pete Carroll. I find it hard to believe because it seemed like Pete Carroll was kind of done with him in Seattle, so I doubt Pete Carroll's ready to, go back to Russ. But you never know. If you're Pete Carroll and your options are Aiden O'Connell or Russell Wilson, you'll take a second shot with Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
So, um, oh yeah, did you remember the one you were thinking about?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I'm kind of
Just
at the end.
forget it.
Yeah, I think I'm at the end of the stuff I love too.
Oh. That the Cowboys stunk
Oh,
until it didn't matter.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's something you could love for like the last 30 years.
I've loved it for the last 23.
Exactly. Um. All right. So I mean, look, let's go ahead and look at the Valentine's Day cards. That way, I'll give credit to Jory on this one. She created these, and I'm sure you all will enjoy them as well. I guess I'll let you kind of speak on the thought process behind them and all that. So let me
Oh, they're
share the.
self-explanatory. And some of them,
Yeah,
you just got to use your head.
yeah. Let me share them. There we go. First up is your Eagles Cowboys one. Obviously saying love is like the Cowboys full of hope, but the Eagles took the ring. Very clever with that one. Uh,
If he goes the Brett Favre route, I promise you, I'm not watching NFC football, NFC North football.
mm-hmm.
All right, look.
Yeah. I mean, look, it will show the ultimate like desperation some of those teams might have. But yeah, I'm not planning on that happening. There we go. Make it a little bigger. All right, so we got that one. Next card. I mean, this way you didn't even assign the two teams, just one in particular, the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship like the Giants, one big joke.
Imagine you hold that.
Look, it's one of those where the truth hurts sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the queen of.
Let's see. Next one. I mean, this one obviously hits home with you. Ravens Titans took my king, but you're still kneeling before Mahomes. Self-explanatory, you know.
They keep trying to. Oh, now we got Derrick Henry and this and da da da, and divisional round and exit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, as
We
they
need.
say, better luck next year. Now, will they be in that same position? We'll see. Next one. I mean, this one. I love this one. Nothing like Pat, Patriots Don Smurf finding joy in a Jet Smurf. You dumped me like the Jets dumped Rodgers, but somehow I saw it coming first. Okay, once again, self-explanatory. I'm sure there's a lot of Jets fans doing this right now.
It'll be okay eventually.
Yeah, I mean they should be enthused by this. Like Aaron Glenn looks like he's going to change the culture a little bit. He might shake up the locker room. You're getting out from the drama of Aaron Rodgers. Like Jets fans, it could be brighter days ahead.
For a short while, and then Woody's gonna Woody, and here we go
Yeah,
again.
right. Got Ravens Steelers. You're kind of seeing a theme. Our love is like a Ravens playoff run. It always ends in disappointment.
Love that one. That was my favorite one to make. One of my
Yeah,
favorite ones.
that's pretty good. Yeah,
I had one for the Commanders. I just ran out of time, and
yeah, it's all good. I guarantee that one would have been a positive one because what the Commanders did this year brought excitement to a franchise that hadn't had it in a while.
Been a cute one. Everything else has just gotten petty.
Yeah, petty,
And
petty.
Valentine's Day is definitely one of my least favorite holidays, so of course I'm gonna be petty about it
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's pointless.
Petty sells. Kendrick Lamar showed some petty at the Super Bowl halftime. You know, that was the biggest stage ever. So
Mm-hmm.
keep the petty going. All right, that was the last card you had. So definitely enjoyed those. Who knows? Maybe this time next year might get some more Valentine's cards out of you. Maybe some of these teams, the Ravens won't be on like half of them because it's just too easy with them. But yeah, let's go ahead get into the final segment. Final burn time. Again, Jory, this is your moment to shine. I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
I only have two.
That's fine.
I only have two. But from what I've seen in the world of sports in the past few weeks, and I know last week I got on the Mavericks. This week I got to get back on the Mavericks, especially that front office and that ownership, because I don't know what the hell they doing. Like you kicking fans out for having signs and shirts that are vocalizing how they feel about that stupid ass trade. You are you trying to? They pay their hard earned money to keep the lights on in your stupid ass building. They pay their hard earned money. I'll get I got you one for St. Patrick's Day. I'll come up with a whole bunch of drunk jokes. I got you. Um, it's been a hectic week, Damien. I didn't get a chance to hit on all teams. Um, but back to Dallas and the Mavericks front office. So we're lying about death threats to get the fans to leave you alone. We're kicking out fans for hate speech. What's the hate speech? Fire Nico? Trade Nico? Do we got skin as soft as grass? Do we got thin skin? You're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be a professional organization. Stand the hell up. And it's like Mavericks fans do not deserve this to be treated like this. Since we're like in a toxic relationship. Just toxic. And now you want to sit here and tell us one thing. We see the other thing, and you want to gaslight the hell out of the public and out of your fans. They now
Mm-hmm.
despise you. And you're actively attempting to silence them. This ain't no damn dictatorship.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm these fans that are getting kicked out, I'm not coming back until they sell the team. Just withhold money.
Yeah.
Withhold that money. And another thing, the continuous slander from the front office of that team regarding Luka. That shit pisses me off. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you didn't want to trade him, you didn't have to. Let him be. Let Luka is happy in the purple and gold. He looks fine. He looks slim for 270. He looks good for 270. And somebody who don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavericks need to stand up, own your bad decision, own it.
Mm-hmm.
Quit trying to gaslight your fans. That That's exactly what happened to them. They treated Andrew Luck horrible as hell, and now they got bad. Now they got a quarterback carousel. They
Yep.
went through Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz. Um, damn,
I feel like there's somebody else in there.
there is
Flacco.
Jacoby
Flacco.
Brissett.
Mm-hmm. And even to get Andrew Luck, they kind of pushed Peyton Manning out the back door to get to him. So,
Oh yeah, they sure did.
you know, that's Ursay. Mini Jerry Jones. Oh,
Which
yeah.
kid from Chicago?
Most talking about Bazelis, who's in the dunk contest.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't care about the dunk contest. I just know somebody who graduated from the same school I did.
Yeah.
Mr. Stephon Castle is in it. That's
Mm-hmm.
all I care about. Back to the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
Let bygones be bygones. If you just had been quiet, most of this would have blown over by now. But every time Dumont and Harrison opens their mouths, you realize that they have, if they would, this is how I'm going to word this. Every time that they open their mouths, you realize that if a brain-eating amoeba were to get in there, it would starve.
Mm-hmm.
They have rocks for brains. Airheads. They're stupid. Like, you mentioning people with great work ethic and da 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 da, and then you mention Shaq. We must be talking about TV Shaq. That's the only time I'm in a good work ethic
Mm-hmm.
when he's picking fights with Chuck, when he got his best buddy. Back of the classroom energy. But Shaq trying to snide Luca. Give it a rest. Next, it's going to be a brief one.
Okay.
Because if you saw the Super Bowl, and I know you saw the Super Bowl because yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw that masterclass of a defense that Vic Fangio put together. I do want all the smoke because now I'm like, you traded him to us, and now you won't let him live in peace. Keep his damn name out your mouth. He's not a part of your team anymore. And quit doing the little slick stuff trying to devalue him. Mavericks fans don't deserve that, to have one of their favorites devalued like that. They don't deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and they definitely got the entire Anthony Davis experience in 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's fascinating. That's about as fascinating of a debut as I can remember recently. Like, if he continued that for another half, Mavs fans might be like, you know what, Nico, we hated the trade, but 80's all right. Now he's out for a month, and it's like, Nico, you better beef up that security, bro.
And back to what I was going to go with Vic Fangio. You think, and to think he was ran out of South Beach
Mm-hmm.
by the Dolphins defensive players. All they did was complain and hoopla. They look soft as hell. Just soft. Candy cane, cotton candy back, soft.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all don't like tackling. You ran this man. Why would you run him up out of Miami? You saw what he could do with people who want to be physical and people who actually want to run the scheme. Y'all want to sit here and blame him and da 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 da. Jalen. Mr. Ramsey, it's time to admit that you're burnt. You are burnt goods. And the rest of that team is terrible too,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the defensive end. You let some of your best players walk, and now you wonder why your dragon floss soft. Charmin Ultra Soft. You don't like tackling. If it's under 50 degrees, you just don't like doing jack squat. But you had the nerve to run Vic Fangio out of Miami. Vic Fangio was not the issue. First year out of Miami, here he go. Go get him a ring. Go get him a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Put Patrick Mahomes' butt on the grass about 6 times. Could have been about 10.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been about 10 sacks. But the Dolphins acted like Fangio. The issue is that organization built is a bunch of frauds. He's trash. He's, and the reason why he's number 2 receptions this season is because why? Who keeps targeting him? Why would they keep targeting him? How many times have you seen him get and the other way? How many times?
Yeah.
Trash. He's on the other side of 30. He's trash.
Yeah.
And he's lost a step. And usually when it comes to corners and defensive backs, when they lose a step, they finna lose a million steps. And just because he's number 2 in interceptions, because he's getting targeted more than he would in previous seasons, means absolutely nothing. Trash. Will Levis folded him like a lawn chair. I cannot get that out of my head. Will damn Levis folded that man like a lawn chair.
He did.
Tragic. Next. Your turn.
Funny to think, where would the Dolphins be if they didn't run out Flores and Fangio? I'm just saying. Not saying that they would have been there together, but those are two guys who show that they can do what they were in Miami to do, move on, and are having success while the Dolphins are yet again trying to break through. But let me switch these here. Here we go. Uh, saying the number 2 in interception was a former player from the Giants. Giants lost 2 players. Oh, okay.
Who was number 2? My bad, Anthony.
Yeah, all good. I think for me, uh, Burn, because we are at the NBA All Star Weekend, I feel like our expectations need to be, I don't know, call them the check. Because this kind of reminded me when Mo jumped in here, talking about how the dunk contest is sad. I know social media is going to roast these guys, over and over for the dunk contest. We kind of alluded to it earlier. The fact that, judges dismiss these guys doesn't help. The fact that we're going to go through an era now where some of the biggest stars didn't do the dunk contest, that's going to be a problem. Hopefully not going forward, but that's an issue. You never had a LeBron do it. Not saying KD's some great dunker, but you never had KD do it. So your biggest names in this era never did the competition. That kind of hurt its reputation. I'm gonna stick up for my guy Jaylen Brown. Last year, Jaylen Brown decided to do it. Did he have some exciting, dunk selection? No. Oddly enough, he was trying to tell a story with his dunks, which I can appreciate. He got roasted for it. So why would you think anybody, even on Jaylen Brown's level, would want to do it this year? Because now, like you're roasting guys for doing dunks you've seen before, and now you're roasting them if they show up and they don't just wow you automatically. The dunk contest is mid. I mean, sure, but once again, what okay, so name something you haven't seen a guy do that you would want to see them do. Oh, showing Vince Carter wasn't gonna help the dunk contest. I mean, look, that dunk contest from Vince Carter was poetry.
The one with
LeBron,
Air.
that was poetry too. Yes, LeBron haven't done
That's
nothing.
rude.
That's also true. LeBron's never done a skills challenge. He's never done a 3-point contest. Never done a dunk contest, and that's your biggest star in your league. All previous greats have done it. Kobe's done them. I mean, even MJ did a 3-point contest and a dunk contest. Yeah, Dr. J do it. Larry Bird did 3-point contests. Like, how this dude skated by 20 some years and never did one, I have no idea. And it's like nobody put pressure on him to do it except for the 1 year when he came out after the dunk contest and was like, "See you next year," and in perfect LeBron fashion, didn't do it the year after. But he's the goat though. Not my goat, but most of the biggest stars worry about their brand and what social media thinks of them weak. Absolutely agree, Mo. And that's the one thing I cannot stand with these athletes. I mean, using KD as an example, the man who has burner accounts to monitor what people say about him, and then pretend like he's defending himself through a burn. Like, why use all that energy? Like, I get it. The social media age has brought on different pressures for these athletes, but no matter what you do, you're gonna get hated anyway. I would love to see I'm making like 40 million a year, and I'm creating burner accounts to go at somebody who's chilling in their room talking about me. What do I care? I'm sleeping on 40 million. You out here trying to make money criticizing me. Like, that is wild to me, but I don't know. Um, LeBron don't fit out, fit in. It's crazy to me that he's never done any like this whole weekend is about bringing forth guys in one location, having them play on teams and stuff, doing these competitions that you normally wouldn't see, and he sat on the sideline. But that's neither here nor there. My whole thing is I figure that the dunk contest is probably going to continue this way because guys have already kind of made their mind up with it being mid, as Damian said. And the crazy thing is that the league came out and said we're going to do away with it. I guarantee you, LeBron and guys like that will be the first one to say, "Why are they doing that? Why are they going to take it from us?"
Hear LeBron ass playing. Why
Right,
are they getting rid of it? You didn't even do it.
exactly. So I'm like, my hope is when LeBron and them get out, somebody needs to put pressure on your Anthony Edwards, John Morant. Why is John Morant not doing the dunk contest? That's literally his biggest skill.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these young guys get back to what it used to be, showing up, putting on a show for the fans. And I don't want to see judges, you know,
Being haters.
yes. And the crazy thing is, if LeBron went out there and did the most basic dunks, he would be loved for it because we know he kind of skates above criticism to a lot of people. Like, that's all he could have gone up there and did, like the tomahawk dunk he likes to do on breakaways 3 times. They probably would have given him the trophy, and he never did it. So hopefully, the next era we get more big name players that want to do it. So I feel like it's a burn that's like every year, but like I still watch it because look, Bazelis, Castle, Jackson, like these are guys that you normally wouldn't hear from on an All Star weekend. So this is their chance to, put themselves in front of new fans. So I'm honestly not going to hate any of them, even if they have a terrible showing. At least they're there. So I always give them credit for that. Second burn, my man Jimmy Butler. I know you saw the image of his
Shorts.
shorts, bruh. Like, oh, what are we doing? And that's like people are like looking at it as like, is that number one or number two?
I was,
The
I,
little, the little snippet of the video I saw, the walk looked like it might have been a number two. It kind of slipped through through the the goalkeeper and messed up the shorts. Hey, stuff happens, right? I, Look, it's not even really a burn. I just wanted to say it because I thought it was hilarious when I saw it making the rounds. Because at first I thought it might have been one of those doctored images that popped up, and I was like, that didn't happen. Then I saw the video, and it legit did happen. That's wild to me. I hope like Curry and them roasted that man because I couldn't be a teammate and just let that go.
Right.
I bet you it's the last time they wear that white uniform as long as Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
Butler's there. Because that was just. I only really had one burn, but I just wanted to bring that up because I'm a little petty. I don't see why players are even complaining about the dunk contest when they hardly go to the paint and dunk. All they do is shoot threes now. That, okay, Damien. That's a
That's
clever one. So I guess the thing would be if you did away with the dunk contest, what would you replace it with? Because I think you can. Well, they used to have the competition where it was like an NBA player, a WNBA player, and like a legend from the same team city that competed together. It was like shooting stars or something. Bring that back. Like I wouldn't care. As the WNBA continues to expand, like you could definitely do that competition again if you wanted to get rid of the dunk contest. But like we said, the minute Adam Silver goes, we're thinking about getting rid of it. Every star who never did it will come out and say, "Well, now you're just erasing history, or you're
yeah.
trying to take the fun away from us and all this kind of stuff." And it's just okay,
Again,
Damien. I figured this was going to come up. There's a problem. The same guys that we're talking about, if you put them in a 1v1 and they get embarrassed, like Mo said, social media is going to roast them. And a lot of these guys have shown they can't handle that. So that's why that one probably will never happen. But I wouldn't mind it either. That's why it's like social media. We need more players that are like Jalen Brown. Like Jalen Brown, he brushes up, or Jason Tatum. I'm keeping it close to home because Jason Tatum doesn't necessarily let all that stuff affect him. But some of these guys, they can't handle the random fan roasting or making a meme out of them. But I don't know. That's
and
today's athlete.
Mr.
We
Sim.
had, yeah, we had Michael Jordan playing while writers were talking about his gambling habits. They tried the conspiracy about his dad's death and all that, and this man was out there still playing. Like, okay, there you go. Damien says 3v3. Maybe you can get away with that. Maybe. Was it me or the skill contest was trash? Well, it doesn't help when CP3 tries to manipulate the rules and looks like an idiot getting disqualified. And then the side story became bigger than the actual competition, where Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller are spending every waking moment like, go find out from CP3 if he knew he'd be disqualified. And then the ball-headed like NBA official spent like 30 minutes talking to CP3 trying to show him why he was disqualified. If I was that guy, I would have walked up to him, laughed in his face, and said, "You're not slick," and I'd have gone back to my seat. I'm not wasting 20 minutes or 30 minutes showing CP3 all these diagrams and stuff of why CP3 knows what he did. He thought he was slick. Now, Wemby, if CP3's teaching all these little tricks, don't let it go too far because you'll find yourself with no rings just like him.
Exactly.
You're taking advice from a guy who hasn't won. What are you doing? I mean, that actually kind of made the skills contest for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Because it was hilarious. Because I'm like, what?
But I mean, I guess the bigger question would be: was the skill contest better when they did like guards versus big men 1v1, or is this like team format better? I think that's probably the real question.
We're going to get some more moments like this. Do
Yeah,
the
Yeah. Or maybe they need to like refresh the actual obstacles every few years so it's not the same thing. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Do the teams and refresh the obstacles.
Yeah.
If
That's
we're
that's
gonna get more of
that's probably a
this.
better solution.
Yeah, yesterday I did watch the celebrity game.
Mm-hmm.
Drewski lost some damn flu game and had 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get some mainstream celebrities to play?
That's what I keep saying. I keep running through them all and like 75% I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then sometimes I'll see them and be like, oh, that's who that is. I'll say that like the dude from 911. I didn't know his name was Oliver Stark. And I've watched the show. I see the cast list go up and I'm like, I don't know who's who, but when he came running out, I was like, I know who that is. But like 2 Chainz, obviously you know who that is. But like Dylan Wang's coming out, I'm like, hmm. So I agree. Get some mainstream ones. I don't even know if I could come up with like if I had like some dream celebrity all star game list who would be in it. I couldn't tell you, but uh, let's be real, ain't no way to fix the NBA All Star Weekend. I mean, that's a valid point. It's up to the players. The players are the ones who can actually fix it. Like Adam Silver can't do anything about it, and yeah, it's the players.
Mm. You
I
got
mean, look, Mac McClung keeps showing up for the dunk contest. He's more committed than big time NBA stars.
like
Like they're showing Giannis on the sideline. Hey, Giannis, why don't you go do it? I'm sure Giannis could dunk from the 3 point line with his long arm self. They'd give him an instant 50 if he did that. You bring your brothers out, call it a day.
well, they all tall, so
What if the NBA has a men versus women dunk contest? Doesn't
that,
college do that? Oddly enough, I think college does that. Because I remember Candace Parker was dunking in like the men's dunk contest in college before. Yeah, which we know that wouldn't do anything because he'll just bring all the WNBA haters out when the women start dunking. So,
last thing we need is more sexism
yes.
and misogyny.
Although, along the lines of that, college also does, which I feel like this is where the Steph Sabrina thing is probably starting to head towards. The college women's champion faces the college men's champion in a 3 point contest. So I wonder if there would be a way that since Tyler Hero won this year, whoever wins the WNBA one, if they then did a 1v1 against each other at some point,
Hmm.
I would be down for that. Question is, where? How would you do? Would you do it at the next NBA one, or do you do it like maybe 2 legs at the NBA and then second round of the WNBA one? I don't know, but I feel like there's a way you can kind of bridge that.
Right.
So the dunk contest wouldn't happen because then it'll just bring up the whole Shaq and all them where it's like, if you want the WNBA to be better, lower the rims, and then the women are like, why should we do that? I don't need that rehashed. So the 3 point contest, I think it could work.
The fact that he still doubles down on that is wild.
It comes up like every season. And Mac McClung won the slam dunk contest again.
Yay.
Is he? And isn't he still in the?
G League.
I thought he was still part of the Philly organization. He's wearing like Magic stuff. I was about to say, as bad as Philly season's been, how did they not call this guy up? But he's with Orlando now. Okay. I wonder if he's ever going to be a NBA player. Giants are selling 10% ownership stake for what? I have no idea. Yeah, they're apparently like opening 10% to fans or something like that. Your guess is as good as mine. Who wants to
Who
buy
wants
it?
to buy that?
I don't know. Some crazy fan will get a group together just to say that they own the Giants. Sure, I guess that'll look good on the resume. Um, yeah, that's kind of all we got for you. Jory, got anything you want to add before we get out of here? Let them know where they can find you. What you got you're working on. Let them know.
I got a couple of articles going on for the blog. Those should be up next week. I have another video that I need to get out. That'll be up next week. I will say that my birthday's in 2 weeks, so you probably all most of my content that you'll be getting will probably be next week.
Okay. So, was this Anthony? Another thing I hate: Eagles win the Super Bowl, and now we get every Eagles fan out the woodwork. I will say, maybe this should have been a second burn, but the same way that like Lamar has his fans, I feel like this Super Bowl win is starting to bring out some Jalen Hurts fans we didn't really hear from. I have seen everything from Jalen Hurts isn't even top five in the league after the win to I saw somebody yesterday tell me it is now Mahomes and Hurts, and that's the end of the conversation.
So here we go with the bull. Here we
Like
go with the BS.
I hope Hurts
What?
I hope Hurts fans are turning into Lamar fans. I can't have it with two different fan bases, but yes, did the Hurts Super Bowl win help him? Yes. To go all the way up to number two and act like it's just him and Mahomes at this point, that's a bridge way too far. But I'm also not going to say he's like eighth or ninth in the league. Like, no. I feel like we could both agree. Hurts is a top five quarterback now. Bless you. Yes. Now, where you have him in your top five, it's solely up to you. You want to put
He's
him.
over Lamar,
Okay. So I'm guessing you would go what? Mahomes,
Burrow, Allen, Hurts,
Mahomes, Burrow,
Lamar.
Allen, Hurts, Lamar. Like that's it's not terrible. Also, I've seen Burrow catching some strays in this talk as well because now people are ready to kick Burrow out of the top five for Hurts now. I don't know what that guy's done to people, but I guess Chris Canty's bringing people to his side. What's thoughts on Bill Hello Hawk wearing a T-shirt saying Atlanta won Super Bowl against the Pats? I don't know. I mean, hey, Atlanta. Uh,
His girlfriend wore that shirt. She
that's yeah, uh, that's like another 2 hours waiting to happen. Talk about that because it's just odd what's going on with Bill right now and her. I don't know.
4 years old. I'll be 24 in 2 weeks. And
Hey,
he's what, 72? Good God. Even that coming out that don't sound right.
mm-hmm.
72 and 24?
I feel like what people are starting to like question is like how do they interact? What do they talk about? Because Bill
And then she
Belichick's the
started
same
putting the
guy.
messages. She started putting the messages on Instagram. She calls him William. I'm like, why do we need to know all of this? Take us out of the group chat.
Exactly. It's just like, and now it's like I'm thinking like, how long is this gonna last? Like, is this just all a means to an end for her? Is he trying to soften his image? Like, what is going on? Look, the next thing I hope I don't hear is like him being a dad with her. I don't know. I don't know if Patriots fans can handle that, but it is what it is with that. So yeah, the t-shirt, like whatever. I don't know. All right, David, that was a good one. I give you that. I gotta give you credit for this one. There you go. It's interesting relationship they got going on. Oh yeah, so make sure you check out Jory Sports Stories for all of her content. I'm also, I guess, working on an article as well. Hopefully, I'll get mine maybe tomorrow or earlier next week. So make sure it's in the description. Our WordPress and Tumblr you can find through there. Go there, check out because we do have articles up already, but some new ones will be on the way. Jalen Hurts needs to smile more. Sis looks like he don't have friends. I mean, if he keeps winning, who cares?
He's pretty. He know what he look like. He do that on purpose.
Hey, maybe this applies to the Dwight Schrute school of smiling. Showing one's teeth is a sign of weakness. Maybe he's living that to a T. I also feel like Damien's comment reminded me of something else, but I'll let it go. All right, caught up on all the comments, so appreciate all of you for tuning in. Those of you over on TikTok as well. Until they integrate TikTok's chat in, I do have it up. So I know Mo was over there. Appreciate you, Mo. And then Mo jumped in on Facebook as well. So make sure you give us a like for the video. Follow or subscribe Integrity Sports Network, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And I know Jory connects her YouTube channel as well. So appreciate all of you on her channel as well for tuning in. And I have mine's connected as well. There you go. There you go, Damon. Not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. There you go. Yes, CM Punk said that. And oh yeah, so I do have some videos up on my channel. I just did one looking at the All-Star break and the contenders in the NBA. So you can check that out over on my channel, Chomping at the Bit. Some other videos coming out over the next coming days as well. Anthony, I guess doing this for you. Number one pick, Carter Baby. There you go. That's Jory's pick for number one, Abdul Carter. Yes. So make sure you guys come back next week. We'll have another episode for you. And also check out the other stuff on the channel. I'll be back on for On the Ball on Tuesday. I know Jory's been on the past couple of weeks. You might see her on there as well. And yeah, NFL season's done. Well, I mean, NFL obviously hangs around the news, but now it's like a few months until the regular season kicks off again. But we'll obviously still have NFL to talk about. We will talk about NBA, obviously, as we get into the stretch run outside of the All-Star break. So I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about Jory's Lakers and my Celtics. They're both playing well right now. So a lot to be happy about. And everything else that comes up in the sports world, we'll be here to give you our opinion on it. So for myself and Jory and Bella, who made a couple appearances, we will see you all next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the All-Star game, because we'll obviously be here next week to break down the new format and everything and all that good stuff. Baseball season's almost here. If you're a baseball fan, yeah. So sports continue on. So we're out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your night. We're gone.